Right guys, Jack here, JBF Music and Guitar Lessons. What I've got for you today is a reaction / analysis to a guitar solo from Bandmaid's Kanami Tono. I've checked out one already, which you should be able to get with the eye up there, so I'm assuming this one's going to be in a kind of drop tuning again, so I've got this guitar at the ready. I've hopefully tweaked my sound so it's a bit better than the last time as well. If you got a suggestion or something you'd like me to check out, make sure to help patreon.com/JBF Music. And on that note, I want to give out a huge shout out and a massive thank you to Rabbi Rabs, Matt Hortzman, Glenn Kelly, Stephen Williams and Rebecca Hay for their continued support on Patreon. Thanks so much guys. But yeah, what I'm going to do is watch this through, comment on stuff and then break things down and hope I just remember what things that I popped into my head on the first watch through. Because I think I did start and stop the last solo a bit, and it probably, I wouldn't say it ruined the journey, but it did impact it. So yeah, too much for me as per usual. But that's what the chapters are for. You can just jump ahead to this part and skip all the other stuff. Let's go for it. Oh, filthy. Definitely sounds like we're dropped tuned though. Oh, nice. The harmonic feedback stuff going on. Didn't know she used Marshalls. I wonder if that's new. Kind of nice, kind of neck pickup kind of tone. Oh no, bridge. Right. Very spacious. Delay really kind of making it feel epic. Okay, so it's very similar to the previous solo with that kind of riff, that theme. Kind of funk chords. Try to get the crowd to clap along a bit there. Cool, try and remember to talk about that. If you try picking the string, because we're in that key, it's going to sound good. Little chromatic runs, cool. Taking more risks and doing more fills in this one than the previous one, which is nice, but more variation. Oh no. Yeah. So just as a note, I don't know if I'll keep this in or not, but the internet connection went down there, so the video just stopped. I'm assuming it'll come back quite quickly. Well, this is Jack from when internet stopped, so I'm just going to talk about some of the stuff that I've noticed so far in case I forget it. One thing when I was talking about the Marshall that's there, it might be something as simple as they have a rider. And aside from just being booze and food, a rider can be like, I want this type of amp there. So a lot of the time, if guys like Steve Vai or like Guthrie Govan, kind of guitar people, if they're traveling and doing clinics, rather than having to look around an amp with them, their rider will just be make sure there's like an orange cap there, and they'll bring their own head, or it might be make sure this amp's here. A lot of people will just say like bring a Marshall because they know how to use them everywhere as Marshall. If you ask for something more specific or more niche, they might not have it. So it could be that she's using Marshall. It could be that like using it full time as opposed to the, I think it was a Mesa she had before, like a Joe rectifier. Might be mistaken there. Or like it could just be I've never noticed before. All the possibilities. One of the things I'd mentioned there was kind of picking on the string, and because we're in, if you I went into this more detail in the last video, I'll link to it with the eye up there, but because we're in this C sharp minor on those low strings, that's what that's tuned in. This one means you can pick out notes from the scale and alternate between the string being open and these notes. And it's going to sound quite good. It gives you a bit of freedom as well, so you can go between a kind of Dorian sound and a darker Aeolian one as well. Both kind of rock scales that you'd expect to hear in these kind of solos. And having said that, you can even go kind of mad with chromatics and stuff, provided you resolve your tonic a fancy way of basically saying the home note, the note that sounds safest, the note that everything's based around. Okay, I think everything's back on now, so back to it. Just these great kind of rock things, isn't it? This kind of dirty playing, these kind of double stops, and just a bit of noise, a bit of ruckus. Cool. The drift's kind of like that before as well, using the... turning around to signal that she wants a crescendo from the drums. And a bit of bass as well. But interestingly, not to overpower things, she's using the kick and mainly kind of the cymbals. Okay, we're into a song here, so I think I'm going to wrap up for that. Okay, so an awful lot in common with the first solo, but also a few differences. So we'll go through it now and break some stuff down. Starting off... so using these kind of like it's basically the pentatonic scale with a little chromatic. So 10, 11, 12 on the D flat, up to that 10. And for some reason, I'm able to get a tiny bit of a harmonic feedback despite being quite quietly. And you can hear that here. Here, this harmonic sort of starts to come in. So I think that might be in a slight little dud note here, but you can just go at it again. Maybe it's intentional, this is the joy of the improvised guitar solo, but it's taken this idea, but instead of just playing that note, playing the 10th fret and the B as well, for a double stop, and doing a quarter tone bend on the 12th fret, so on the G flat and the B flat. Up a tiny bit, back down, and then up again. So, and keeping things quite dissonant and quite dirty, because you can make this quite in tune, but you can also make it quite, you know, quite kind of filthy sounding. Then after that, we're onto these kind of rock clicks, this kind of thing. I think it's here. Done a video before on rock cliches a bit like this, which I'll link to with I up there, but it's all kind of pentatonic stuff. Either bend this note by a tone, this one or this one. So bending that by a tone, that one by a tone, that one by a tone, and playing about with the pentatonic shape. You'll stumble onto all these kind of like great little rock clicks. I just threw my pick across my arm there. I don't think I could do that if I tried. And then there's bits like this where the playing's a bit more sparse. There's big bend. Even though, yeah, so it sounds like she's probably bending from the 17th fret up a tone and a half, just really letting it slowly dip down. I've got my noise gate up quite high, so you can hear the note. The note was getting choked out there before it got to dip back down to its regular pitch. But she's also got quite a bit of delay here. So the delay really helps fill out this sound. It's not so high in the mix that it overpowers everything, but it just makes these big kind of bends and stuff more epic because you got all this kind of echoing going on, right? Then some sort of pentatonic lick. I'm probably not going to be able to break this down verbatim with the audio quality here, but there's that sort of tune. But if you take a sequence through the pentatonic, like that kind of thing, and then she finished it up by going... because we're in a different tuning, you need to remember that if you're soloing to not resolve to notes where they used to be on this lower string. So pentatonic, then blues at the end. So it was maybe something like... but again, slower. But if you mess about with the pentatonic scale, and make sure to resolve your lick going down there, you'll get something pretty close. This main theme here, I've broken this down in the previous solo analysis video that I probably mentioned already, so the eye up there will take you to that. But this part here, so if you want to learn how to do that, that video is worth checking out. So this bit here is kind of interesting. Yeah, that did. So what she's doing is implying a ninth basically. It's like a wee C minor triad. Just the 10th fret. I think I'm still out of tune. 10th fret on the top 3 strings. You're going to put your little finger up in the 13th and then move it down to the 12th. So you have that higher and down to there. So that's the flat 3rd, that's the 9th. Bit kind of funky, bit Santana-y, that kind of thing. Before I'd mentioned this kind of using the open string, and I was talking about the D flat or C sharp. I need to pick a lane, C sharp, let's go with that. And now you can use that string. There's other strings you can use as well. So here I think she's using the G flat. And because, like, if we play a big C chord, that C sharp chord, that G flat's in it, so you can do the, you can kind of use that as a pedal and pick in key notes or out of key notes, as I accidentally did as I went towards the bottom there. Okay, cool. So I think she's using a kind of Dorian blues scale here. Again, because of the audio quality, I'm not going to get this spot on, but I'll kind of break down what I think's happening there. Take this string once, 13th fret, pull off to 12, pull off to 10. Same idea on the next string, but do it twice. You're going to pick once, pull off, and then you can pick it again. Pull off to the 12, then to the 10. Exact same shape on the next string as well. Pick it, pull off, then to the 12, and back up to the 10 on the G. So you'd have... This is a great shape to play about with. It's using the blues note, which is here, and it's also using Dorian 6th. I've done lessons on kind of covering this before, which I'll link to with the eye up there if you like this kind of sound. So I think those were the kind of main differences that I noticed here. Other than that, it was kind of similar licks to before, the kind of little chromatic things and the just all the kind of noise and the big burnout stuff going on. If there's anything in particular in that or something I've missed out, then do let me know. Hit up Patreon to support the channel. You can check out these videos or hit subscribe to make sure you never miss out on new content. If you don't want to do that stuff or you've done it already, a like and a comment goes a really long way. So cheers guys, and I hope you're having a good one.